Hey there, fellow gardeners. If you've ever wanted to taste a pepper so incredibly fresh it just blows your mind, well, you're in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to dive into the super rewarding journey of growing your own peppers at home. And trust me, it's a lot easier than you might think. And the payoff? Oh, it is absolutely delicious. Let's get into it.
But first, let's kick things off with a question I get all the time. You know the scene. You're at the grocery store, you see the green bell peppers, and right next to them are the red ones, which always cost a bit more. Are they different plants? Maybe distant cousins? What's the real deal here?
And the answer is nope, they are the exact same plant. A green pepper is just one that's been picked before it's fully ripe, kind of like a green tomato. That beautiful red, yellow, or orange color, that's what happens when you let it ripen completely on the vine. It takes a few extra weeks, which is why they're more expensive. But in that time, they get way sweeter, crunchier, and their vitamin content, especially vitamin C, just goes through the roof. All right, so to get you all the way from a tiny little seed to a plate full of delicious peppers, here's our game plan. We'll start by getting to know the pepper, then we'll walk through its journey from seed to seedling. After that, we'll set up its perfect home, learn how to keep it happy, celebrate the big harvest, and finally, get those amazing peppers onto your plate. So what is it that makes peppers so great? Well, aside from that unbelievable fresh-picked flavor, they are absolute nutritional powerhouses. They're loaded with vitamins, but they are total superstars when it comes to vitamin C. And here's a little fun fact for you. A fully ripe yellow bell pepper can have nearly 3 times as much vitamin C as a red one. Of course, just a quick disclaimer, this is all for your information and isn't medical advice. You should always chat with a healthcare professional for any nutritional guidance. Every single amazing pepper harvest starts with one thing, a tiny seed. This early stage is so important for building a strong plant that's going to give you tons of fruit later on. So let's look at the absolute best way to get these little guys started. You know, to give your seeds the best shot, I really recommend trying this paper towel method. Just get a paper towel damp, not soaking wet, put your seeds on it, fold it over, and then pop it into a sealed plastic bag. Now the real secret here is warmth. Peppers are tropical, so they need heat to wake up. A simple heat mat that keeps things around 80 to 85 degrees is perfect. In about a week, maybe 2, you'll see those little white roots pop out, and that's when you know you're in business. So here's what the first couple of months look like. After your seeds have sprouted, you'll carefully move them into some small starter pots. A few weeks later, once they've had a few sets of real leaves, you'll pot them up, which just means moving them to a slightly bigger container to give their roots more space. And finally, before they go outside for good, you have to harden them off. This is a super important step where you slowly get them used to the sun and wind over a week or so. You can't just throw them outside. It's a huge shock to their system. Okay, so your little seedlings are looking strong and they are ready for the big leagues, the great outdoors. Setting up the perfect home for them now is going to be the difference between a plant that just kind of gets by and one that absolutely thrives. So what's on a pepper's wish list? Well, first up is sun. They love about 6 to 8 hours of it, but they really prefer that gentler morning sun. The harsh afternoon sun can actually stress them out. If you're using pots, go for at least a 5-gallon size. Anything smaller and the roots will get cramped. For soil, they want something rich that drains well. Mixing in some good quality compost is a fantastic idea. And finally, give them some elbow room. Space your plants about 18 to 24 inches apart so they aren't fighting each other for sun and nutrients. Now listen up, because this is probably the #1 mistake I see new gardeners make. Peppers and tomatoes are in the same family, so people think you plant them the same way. With a tomato, you bury the stem deep and it grows more roots. Great. But if you do that with a pepper plant, the stem can actually rot and you'll stunt its growth for the whole season. So remember, plant your peppers at the exact same soil level they were in their little starter pot, no deeper. All right, your pepper is planted in its final home, and this is where the real fun starts. Over the next few months, our job is to be the best plant parent we can be, giving it all the care, water, and food it needs to grow into a pepper-producing machine. You know, peppers can be pretty hungry plants. To get a really big harvest, you gotta feed them right. Start with a good all-purpose organic fertilizer. That's the foundation. Now, bone meal is like a secret weapon. It's full of phosphorus for making more flowers and fruits, and calcium, which helps prevent that nasty blossom end rot. And then you've got fish fertilizer, which gives it a boost of nitrogen for nice green leafy growth. But be careful. Too much nitrogen will give you a gorgeous big green bush with 0 peppers. Seriously, so use it sparingly, especially once you start seeing flowers. Look, every gardener runs into issues. It's totally normal. Here's how to tackle the most common ones. If you see your plant wilting,
Don't just automatically water it. Stick your finger in the soil first. It might actually be too wet, or it could just be wilting from the afternoon heat. See papery white spots on your peppers? That's sun scald, basically a sunburn. A little afternoon shade can fix that. Flowers just falling off? That's usually heat stress when temps get over 90 degrees. And for pests like little aphids, a strong spray of water or some organic neem oil will usually send them packing. And here's a super simple tip that could literally save your entire harvest. Once your pepper plant starts getting loaded with fruit, it gets really top-heavy. All it takes is one strong gust of wind and that main stem can snap. So do yourself a favor and put a sturdy stake or a small tomato cage in place early on. It'll provide all the support your plant needs to hold up its own success.
Ah, this is it. This is the moment we have all been waiting for. After all those weeks of patience and care, it is finally time to enjoy the fruits of your labor. Literally. Now, here's the best part, and it's a great little trick. When you pick a pepper, it sends a signal to the plant that says, okay, job's done here, time to make more. The plant redirects its energy into making new flowers, which means more peppers for you. So don't be shy about harvesting. The more you pick, the more the plant will produce. It's a win-win. So we all treat pepper plants like annuals, right? We plant them in the spring, and then we pull them out when the first frost hits in the fall. It seems like they only live for one season. But is that actually true? And here's a really cool fact. In their native tropical climates, peppers are actually perennials. They can live for years. This means that if you live somewhere with cold winters, you can actually dig up your favorite plant, put it in a pot, and bring it inside to overwinter. It takes a bit of work, sure, but it gives you a massive head start the following spring with a big, mature plant. How cool is that? So we've come full circle. We've taken this plant all the way from a tiny little seed, and now it's time for the final step in the journey. Taking that beautiful harvest from the garden to the kitchen. There is honestly nothing that compares to the flavor of a freshly picked pepper. You can slice them up for a crispy snack, throw them into a stir fry, stuff them with healthy fillings like quinoa or lean meat, or roast them to make these amazing smoky dips and salsas. And if you grew shishito peppers, all you need is a hot pan and a little sea salt for the perfect, easy appetizer. And at the end of the day, this is what it's all about. There's just this special satisfaction, this incredible depth of flavor that you can only get from eating something that you grew yourself. It really connects you to your food in a way that's hard to describe. You know, growing peppers is such a fun adventure. It teaches you about patience, about paying attention, and it really lets you experience the simple joy of watching something grow. So now that you know how to do it, the only question left is, what are you going to grow next? Thanks for tuning in.